So when someone's buying a house as is and they have an inspection, does that mean they're just stuck no matter what the inspector finds?
There is an addendum that is called the as-is addendum, which does not mean that you are stuck with whatever you find. In the as-is addendum, it gives you the right to have an inspection and gives you the right to walk away from the sale or renegotiate the sale based on your findings. What it does not allow you to do is to ask the seller to complete specific items. For instance, if you found, let's say, radon is high, you can't go to the seller and say, install an active mitigation system prior to closing. Now, if it's needed, you could renegotiate to say, we're going to need X amount of dollars off the purchase price to let us do those items on our own. But the seller, the important thing there is that the seller is not required to get have the contractors come out and do that work prior to closing. The waiving the inspection is a completely different animal. The waiving inspection, you are waiving your rights to an inspection. If the seller allows you to do an inspection, that would be their call based on it's their property, and if they would allow you to have an inspector do that. But no matter what you find, you're stuck with it. If you've waived your right to inspection, you have no recourse, you have no anything. So that is it's an option, and I am seeing it more and more that in the competitive market that we're in, just like that, appraisal, agreeing to pay over appraised value, I'm seeing a lot of people waiving inspections. But in my opinion, just knowing what I know about the process and what you can find, I truly believe that only about 2% of people have any business buying a home with no inspection, because there are just so many things that you can find, and just because you watch Joanna Gaines or Flip or Flop doesn't mean you're equipped to handle rehab on a home. There is a lot involved. There's a lot of costs, and those people on the show, some of them are very successful at it, but they have gone to the school of hard knocks, many of them, and they know what it is to lose money as well, because it's not always a profitable venture. So just something to really think heavily on before you try to buy a house with no inspection.
Okay, so that's interesting. So there is a difference then between waiving inspection and buying a house as is.
Yes. And sometimes people will sell a house as is, intending for there not to be an inspection, intending to not give anything if the buyers find anything. But that form is, in my opinion, not very well named, just because it is as is in a way, but it's not what a seller might think if they just look at the form and see it signed. Oh, as is, great. That means I don't have to do anything. Well, not necessarily. There is recourse if they find things.